Welcome to the second episode of Frederique Knits and Spins. It's been a little while since I came on with my first introductory episode, so today I thought before it is clouding over and getting dark again, I will just get my last bits of video together, because this episode is a little bit of collection of stories from the last month. First of all, I'm going to tell you something about my second pair of socks, the second pair of socks that I knit, and how they became quite a success and are an improvement from the last time. So I wanted to give you a little update on how I've been knitting my second pair of socks. Look, there's 2 socks here that are completed, and if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that I decided to start knitting 2 socks together at the same time for 2 reasons. The last time, or the first time I knitted socks, the cuff of the second sock was much wider, bigger, tighter than that of the first or of the other one. So I decided I need to do something about it. This time around it's a little bit better. There's still a slight difference, but much better than the last time. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I have to figure it out. I did notice that here there's a bit more space between the purl one, rib one. So that might be one reason. The other one doesn't have that. That's pretty even. So this sock is completely finished. I have worked in the ends as well. This is a very simple vanilla sock, and I've used the Voolenvine video to work it with a beautiful heel. It is kind of a reinforced heel, so it's done by knitting and purling, or knitting and slipping, doing a slip one, knit one, slip one, if I'm correct. No, slip one, purl one, that's it. That's what I meant to say. So very straightforward sock, but great for beginners like me when it comes to sock knitting. But what I did do, because I like to make things complicated for myself, I decided to make a little heart shape just under the cuff and repeat that just before the toe. I thought it was cute. And these socks are for my my eldest daughter. We bought the yarn in Oxford, in a beautiful Oxford yarn store, if I'm correct, wool store, Oxford yarn store, when we were there in the summer on holidays. So this is it. This one is done. What I did notice at the second sock is that there are a few little gaps here which I'm going to fix, and I'll show you how I do that, because for the rest nothing else is wrong with it. It's just these need to be fixed, and then they can be blocked and they're ready to wear. Well, job done. Let's see how this has turned out after I close the little holes in here. There you go. Can't see it anymore. Oh, sorry, have to put it up a little bit. Perfectly even, and also the other side, it looks gorgeous. So whereas I know there are plenty of tips and tricks on how to avoid making those gaps should they appear, of course you can always always fix something like that by sewing or just by by fixing them from the inside. So I'm quite happy with these, and I think I was telling there were 2 reasons why I knitted 2 socks at the same time. Obviously the other reason is to avoid second sock syndrome, because especially when you've knitted one sock and you need to do the foot of the other sock. I knitted these top down, so I started at the cuff going down to the heel and then to the toes. I have to say I wasn't really bored because it's quite a quick project, and I had a flight to the Netherlands, so one foot was knit on the way to the Netherlands and the other foot was on the way back. So that's how I finished these, or most of it. I am absolutely happy with how they turned out. Now I'm off to block these and give them to my daughter, who will hopefully wear them lots. If you've never knitted socks before, I will put a link underneath the YouTube video to this free sock pattern. It also includes a video which is incredibly helpful by Voolenvine. The next thing I'd like to tell you about is about my visit to the Dublin Fibre Festival. The Dublin Fibre Festival took place in October, on the 26th of October if I'm correct, and I went there together with my 2 daughters, and we were also going to help out my friend Anouk, who has a company called All on More. I told you about the company in the previous episode. I used to work with her and I absolutely love what she does. So when she told me that she had to do a workshop during the Fibre Festival, I said, okay, if you need me, I'm happy to man your stand, or woman your stand when you are busy, and I can sell on your behalf. So that happened on that day. I'll show you a little bit of footage from when I arrived, and I didn't have an awful lot of time to film that day because I was just overwhelmed with the number of vendors, a lot of familiar faces that I knew from my time at All on More, and just so many beautiful brands from Ireland, and a lot of beautiful yarn. I just didn't know what to look for. Now the thing was, I didn't really need anything. There was just 1 or 2 things that I had on my mind that I wanted to look out for. So it was a very enjoyable time. I think the festival was very well organized by Mira and her team, and just this week, Mira from Mira Isan studio, she had an offer out that she still had some of the super cute festival pins, and I had to just order one of them. I hope you can see them, can see it properly. So I got this in a post the other day. Thanks, Mira, if you're watching this. I think it's very cute, and it's a great memory of the first Dublin Fibre Festival, and I really hope it'll be back next year. During the festival, I got the chance to try out a fantastic spinning wheel by Johnny Shiels, and this is the Jaguar, the Lamborghini of spinning. You can see it in the following clip. It is just, it's very solid. Thanks Jenny for videoing it while I was having a go. So solid. I mean, I am used to spinning on an Ashford spinning wheel, which is decent and works really well, but this, like, proper mahogany wood and a lot of craftsmanship and love into not a device, into a spinning wheel like that, it was unbelievable. So gosh, if I could dream up a lovely €1,200 to buy something like that, I might do that. But you know, you always need to have things to dream of. So maybe in the future. So in the end, I did purchase a beautiful skein of sock yarn from Fineleaf Fibres, one of the brands that I really admired on the day. And they are an Irish company, and they have a beautiful natural dyed range of yarn. And I had my eye on something from them for a long time, and now I saw them and I thought, which colour to go for? This might go into a Stephen West's shawl that I bought the pattern of there recently, or I don't know, might go into socks, but I think it might go into a shawl. And I also wanted to purchase something from Mira. I could have bought something from everyone because there was such beautiful quality there, but I didn't really need anything, as I said. Then it's tricky, but I have a pattern from Anne Wenzel that I'd love to make, and that is the spot sweater. And I had thought it would be nice to have a bright colour for that, because I tend to go for blues, single colours maybe, but I want to have a bit more energy in my life, a bit more colour in my life. So during the show, I had difficulty choosing something from Mira, and she had sold out some of the colours that she had in her on her table. So she said, why don't you just go home and have a look at how much yarn you need, and then come back to me and I'll either dye it for you or I send it off to you. Now that's the best advice that a vendor can give you, not rush you into a purchase. And I really appreciated that. So I had a look on our website when I was at home, and then I ordered this beautiful deep red, like really beautiful red. What is it, a merino? I think it's a 100% merino. So this is going to go into the Anne Wenzel spot sweater, combined with a cream or a white, and I have to decide whether I will do that on a handspun base or something that I buy. So I'll keep you posted. It won't be this side of the year, it will be next year before that's done, because geez, time is flying. Then from the Dublin Fibre Festival on to another chapter. I have some spinning updates. First of all, I'll show you some of the work that I've done over the last while, and I'll do that in the following clip. I've been spinning quite a lot in the last while, and I saved up a number of things that I had spun, and then after I spun it, I applied it, I washed it all in a very simple big tub of water with a little bit of wool wash. I used Woolite, and I should actually get some soap, or soak it's called, I think, because I am nearly out of the Woolite, and I had the Woolite for years already, because you don't need much when you're using it. Anyway, this is one of my favorites. As you can see, it's navy blue. Navy is always my my go-to color in winter, with a white shirt underneath or so. I have a beautiful cardigan, but I want to use this maybe in one of Anne Wenzel's patterns, maybe the Bella blocking, or another one, I'm not sure yet. Anyway, there's a few beautiful ones combined with a creamy spun color. Like this is a beautiful off-white oyster color. This is a World of Wool yarn originally, so it's a merino as well, just like this one. And it's from roving that I had from my days in All-on-More. At least this is actually recycled from an arm knit blanket or a hand knit blanket that was no longer needed. And I got that from Anouk, and she said, do you want it? Can you spin with it? And I said, I'll try. And I was able to spin with it because it had only top felted. So this is the result of that oyster. And this is the marine, or yeah, the midnight color. So what I do is, after I washed it, and I've obviously made sure that the skein is bound together. Do I say it that way? Anyway, I'm gonna just twist it like this, as I have learned from many others. And well, I have to say, the ring that I'm currently wearing is not very handy for it because it catches. So I'm gonna leave these in nice and tight, and then do this for a little bit and let it then twist around itself. And that's the way how I'm going to store it for now. This is, what did I note down, 59 grams, and I measured it at 223 meters. It's a fingering weight, so I'm still surprised that I've been able to spin at that weight. I have a few more skeins to wind. This is the second one. This is also a bit of that oyster, but spun in a much chunkier way, which was actually trickier than spinning fine yarn, because you have to feed the yarn once you're spinning it into the orifice very quickly. But look how beautiful it is. So this is a pure bamboo merino and a bit of silk mix, also from World of Wool, if I'm correct. Putting my temporary label next to it so I can put it in my Ravelry stash. Next up, I was talking about a mix already. This is a mix, so this is an oyster merino mixed with that green that I just showed you here. So one thread is the green color, and the other thread is the recycled oyster roving. So I'm doing the same with that one, just winding it up. It looks very clumsy, I'd say, but it doesn't matter. And I'll be able to store it like this, and it'll stay beautiful until I'm going to use it. So what I'm thinking of doing is I need to spin a little bit more, and there is this beautiful vest by K3. I might make that with it because it needs a bulky yarn. This is a bulky weight, so I'll be able to do that. But I'll need 500 grams of it in total, so I have to spin more for now. So I've spun a few in the single color, even though it's a mixed color already. And I spun a few, one thread in the creamy oyster, and then the second thread in the green, and then I plied it together. So that's my second one. They're all kind of bulky weight. They might be a little bit inconsistent, but for this pattern I think it would be nice to mix. So this is the fourth one, also a mix of the two. Just need to make sure that I'm not mixing up my my notes here, that I attach it to the right skein. So this is now ready for that project. Then the last thing I want to show you in the spinning or spun wool category are these. The first one of them. This is one of my earlier spun skeins, and as you can see, this is still a little bit overplied. So there is a bit more spin in it than there should, or twist in it than there should be. Still, I find it beautiful, and this will turn into a nice Christmas sock maybe for one of the girls. One of the decorative ones that you put by the chimney. I thought that would be nice. And because I also have this beautiful ruby, wouldn't be Christmas without a bit of ruby, at least not in my house. Let me see. I just need to make sure that I am going to make this into a nice skein. There we go. So it's all the reason why I wash it, and I didn't do that before, is I wanted to try it out if it had a positive effect on the fluffiness of the yarn, and it did. It's actually a tip that I got from one of the lovely ladies from This Is Knit, Lisa, who's spinning as well, and I noticed that she was giving her spun yarn a wash, and I thought, you know what, I need to do that as well. And it actually looks brilliant, and the wool feels so soft now. So again, I'll just skein this up, as they say, and I can keep it. This, as you can see, is bulkier than the fine one that I spun later on. So this is fingering, and this is Aran weight, I'd say. Last one, also kind of an Aran weight oyster merino. Last one to skein up for now, and there you go. So isn't that just gorgeous? Right, if you're going to ask me how much time I put into spinning all that yarn, don't, because it's a lot of time. Let me think. There have been just nights that I put on a podcast, or I might have even brought the wheel into the house and spun in front of the TV, or just, you know, when I put the wash into the machine, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes often turn into 10 minutes, like you have with knitting. One more row, just 5 more minutes, because then I'll finish this little piece. Anyway, that's spinning can get very addictive, and especially after you had a busy day in work, it's lovely to just, you know, empty your brain, listen to some music, listen to a nice podcast, watch something on YouTube or whatsoever. So I don't know if you experience the same, but sometimes it's just lovely to get lost in a bit of mindful, thoughtless creating, spinning, whatsoever. Anyway, that was my story about spinning and skeinin up yarn for today. And that brings me to the last topic of this episode, and that is that I finally went off to the Netherlands to collect my spinning wheel, my own spinning wheel, because the one that I have here is the one that you see here. I have two now, but I'm sitting right in front of it, you can't see it. That is the one that I borrowed from my friend Anouk. It's a long-term loan, there was no rush. But like I said before, my husband had found one in the Netherlands on a Marktplaats, which is a second-hand marketplace, literally, if you translate it. And it has fantastic goods on for sale. Of course, you have to be careful what you buy. So he had made a deal with the seller, and he had made a down payment, and I was going to collect it. So I went to visit my parents, who live in the Netherlands, and the rest of my family lives in the Netherlands as well. I went to visit them recently at the end of October, and I had said, we'll make a nice day out of it, because the place where the town where I had to collect it is just north of Amsterdam, in a very scenic place, Monnikendam it's called. So, and I had actually never been there. Sometimes you can be a tourist in your own country. So off I went with my mom on a beautiful day, and I'll show you a photo of that in the next clip. And then we went to collect the spinning wheel, and I was absolutely delighted with the quality. So I agreed on the sale, and we brought it with us. And after a nice drive around the beautiful area, I took it home to my parents' house, where I took it apart because I had to take it with me to Ireland. And that's what I'll show you in the next clips. I took it apart, pretty much everything, and I have the screws. I put the screws in some Coca-Cola because some of them were a little rusty, but they have pretty much, they're okay now. I can screw them together. I could put some oil on it, but I'm quite hesitant to do that because I don't want to stain the wood. So and I have an example, as you can see. The wheel that I have here is the one that I have on long-term loan from my friend. So I have an example, and I will also look up a YouTube video that I found. Of course, everything is on YouTube, to see how it's done. And I'll probably show you a fast forward version of the assembly process, because I think it'll take a little bit of time. So yeah, bear with me, and hopefully I can also show you very quickly how I can spin on my new second-hand wheel. Well, as you can see, I managed to piece my Ashford wheel together, and it's time to try if it's actually working. So I put the bobbin on. There's still a little bit of yarn or one ply on it from when I demonstrated the wheel to my parents back home in my other home in the Netherlands. But I had to take it apart, of course, and bring it over, and now I'm going to see if it's working. So this handy hook was still on the wheel. Thank you very much to the previous owner, because that's handy to pull the fibre through the orifice. Let's see if I can attach the fibre that I have in my hand and spin something to see if I have set up my wheel correctly. It feels okay so far. Here, let's give it a few pulls first, a few turns. There we go. I'm getting some twist in my thread here, so let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. It is spinning. This will bring me hours of fun and hopefully beautiful spun yarn. I'm happy to report it's working. The yarn is going onto the bobbin and the wheel is turning. I am very happy. Thank you very much for joining me on my little journey piecing this Ashford wheel together, and yeah, hopefully I can bring you lots more content in the future on how I'm going to spin different yarns, etc., and how I learn. And hopefully it's a little inspiring. Thank you for watching. To finish off today's episode, I thought, first of all, let's just tell you what I'm wearing today. I should have actually opened with that. It is my first colourwork sweater that I knit around this time last year. So here it is in its full glory, the Dirty Caramel sweater by Kutovakika from her book Knit This. Veronica Lindberg is her full name, and I printed it off, got it from a friend. It is a book filled with lovely designs. She is Finnish, and you might very well know her. She's quite famous, and she's just a new book out, so there's another book that might go on the list because I think there's lovely patterns in there again. This is knit. Nice wordplay. This sweater was knit mostly with yarns from This Is Knit and some from Winnie's Wool Wagon. So you will see the beautiful what is this called again? Oh, I forgot the name. Embers is in here anyway, and oh yeah, single mold. That's in there. And then there's some soft pink, and there is a Kremke or BC Garn white or creamy white in there. It's a beautiful quality. It's super soft and very nice and warm, and especially on a November day like today where temperature is hardly getting above 5 degrees, it's a perfect thing to wear, and it makes you happy because there's lots of colour in it. It's a bit Christmassy as well, but I thought, you know what, it's fine, and it suits the nails. Why not? This brings me to the end of today's episode. The next episode will be all about some Irish yarn that I knit with, not just one piece, but I've knit several pieces with this yarn, and I'd like to dedicate a whole episode to it just because it has a special place in my heart. So anyway, it will be about the pepper pot shawl, one that I knit there recently, and if you follow me on Instagram, here's my handle, Frederique Knits, you might have seen some of it already. So hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. I certainly enjoy making this, and I will look forward to sharing some more with you in the next episode and after. Looking forward to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What do you think when you see my socks? Have you got any tips for me, or on spinning? Any specific roving or any specific wool that you'd advise me to use when continuing my spinning journey? So let me know, and I'll certainly get back to you. Enjoy making all your projects, and I'm looking forward to hear from you again. Bye bye.